Hello, my name is Voya and welcome to my deep guide. Well, today we're taking an in-depth look at the Boox Pen2 Pro. This is something that I received from Boox about a month ago or something like that. I had time to use it and spend time with it to kind of check what's it like, what's good, what's bad, etc. and bring an in-depth review to you guys. So let's begin. Pen2 Pro is the top-of-the-line passive EMR stylus from Boox that is compatible with any device that uses a passive EMR pen as the handwriting input. It sports 4096 pressure sensitivity levels, a built-in eraser at the top end of the pen, a magnet on the side of the pen for mounting on magnetically capable devices, and it uses exchangeable felt nibs of a standard that allows the use of other nibs as well, such as the Remarkable, Wacom, HP, and others. Pen2 Pro sells for $79.99 US or €79.99 euros and can be found at different Boox web stores or maybe even at your local electronics store that sells Boox products. The pen comes in a chunky box and is well protected and packaged to ensure that it arrives to you safe and sound. The unboxing experience is nice and it does feel like a premium product. There's also minimal use of plastic materials in the packaging overall, which is a good thing to see, although going for a zero plastic packaging option in the future would be an even nicer thing to see. In the box you will get the pen and, well, nothing else really. This is a simple product, so there really isn't that much need for a quick start sheet, although some inexperienced users might not be aware of how an eraser works, for example, so a small quick start guide with just a couple of images would be a nice thing to have. What is of a bigger concern here is that for a premium product at quite a high price tag, you get zero additional replacement nibs. I don't know if they ship a box of additional nibs with this product or not, but I do know that it's not listed anywhere that spare nibs are included. Furthermore, there is plenty of room available in the packaging of the pen to include a nice place where extra nibs and the nib extracting tool would be included, but instead we get nothing. While the packaging is nice and delivers the pen securely to the end user, for a top-of-the-line premium product and a premium asking price, the lack of including spare nibs and a nib extracting tool is disappointing. Pen2 Pro is a complete redesign and a different pen than the standard Pen Plus. It's longer, it uses a different material, and it feels different in the hand than the standard Pen Plus. The eraser tip is also made out of plastic, but it is well designed, and the rounding off and manufacturing is good enough to ensure that there are no loose, sharp edges or corners that would damage the surface when using the eraser. The actual pen driver that the Pen2 Pro uses, on the outside at least, looks like an identical unit as the one used in the Pen Plus. This is an all-plastic affair, and while the type of plastic used and manufacturing does make it feel a little bit more premium than the Pen Plus, it doesn't really feel like $80 US premium. It feels like a strong but brittle type of plastic, and I don't dare to do a drop test on this one as there isn't enough elasticity in the material when you actually push it. It just doesn't give at all. Suffice to say, I would not want this pen to drop onto a hard surface and then to guess and see what happens, because more likely than not some chip of some kind would have to kind of happen. One of the main differences between the $80 Pen2 Pro and the $45 or $44 Pen Plus is the lack of grooves on the Pen2 Pro. The surface on this one is actually completely smooth. Actually, the material holds on to the skin well. However, if your hands get sweaty over the use, the Pen2 Pro will be more slippery than the Pen Plus simply because of the lack of the ridges. Coupled with the fact that you will be flipping the pen 180 degrees frequently to erase, this means that this pen is more prone to slipping out of your hand than the Pen Plus. Another issue that has to do with the flipping over and just the ergonomics of the pen is the length. I don't honestly understand why the pen had to be so long. This causes some balance and comfort of use issues depending on the writing habit. So if you're holding it all the way down like I do, then you have this huge amount kind of flapping over and you need to kind of battle it. If you hold it more like this, then it's actually better suited, but generally speaking it's way too long, and that extra length causes the need for unnecessary effort to control the pen while writing. The extra length is also not a practical solution to a pen that has to be flipped around frequently in order to erase the content, because it's just not that comfortable. It's a little bit too long and then makes this move a little bit cumbersome. Pen2 Pro is equipped with a stronger magnet when compared to the Pen Plus that does make the pen hold on to the device slightly more securely. So for example, yes, I can also lift the device with the Pen Plus, but it will kind of drop off more easily than when I'm using this one. So for example, pick it up. Okay, still an issue, but I am able to do it after a couple of tries with this one. It's very similar but a little bit weaker, and I just can't do the full-on tilt and lift with the Pen Plus. With the Pen2 Pro, I am able to do that thanks in large to that slightly stronger magnet. However, Pen2 Pro, as well as the newer Pen Plus pens, all lack the visual indication of where the magnet actually is, which helped users get to know how and where to place the pen onto the device's magnet to ensure the strongest hold. Because you can mount the pen to the wrong place, but then it doesn't hold even nearly as good. So it has to be here, which is kind of not centered on the Nova, for example. So yeah, that indication is lacking. I'm not sure why they stopped painting on the magnet indication, as this was a very easy and self-explanatory way of solving a problem that new users actually frequently have, especially when the problem can cause you to lose your $80 pen if it was attached weakly to the device. The addition of the eraser is one of the main selling points of the Pen2 Pro. That being said, I am not a fan of the flip over to erase kind of a design, because I just find it too slow, cumbersome, and actually distracting on any of the pens of such a design, Pen2 Pro included. My personal preference are pens that have buttons, dedicated buttons for erasing. But then again, I know that there are users who actually hate that design because it causes them to accidentally press on the button while using the pen. So the eraser on the top end of the pen design is something that will appeal to some and not to others. But what I feel lowers the practicality of the pen is, again, the excessive length of it. Constantly flipping around a lengthy, non-grooved pen like the Pen2 Pro is basically an open invitation for it to frequently slip out of your hands, and I'm simply not a fan of such designs. Quality generally feels good, but as already discussed in the materials section, it's an all-plastic build that simply doesn't feel $80 good. In addition to that, the rigidity of the pen leads me to believe that the plastic being used is brittle and as such will prove to crack on impact. That being said, it does feel more premium in the hand when compared to the Pen Plus, so there is that. Pen2 Pro uses a standard felt tip changeable nibs. These felt tips are soft and provide for a good feel, but they will wear out over time, especially when used against an abrasive surface. How long can you expect a nib like that to last? Well, that will depend entirely on the writing pressure, amount, how much you write, style, and the writing surface. More abrasive surfaces will spend the soft nib quicker. But medium to heavy use should provide for at least about 4 weeks of use of one nib before it spends down so much that it can no longer be used. Keep in mind that these nibs will get to look uglier and uglier as they get more spent. But remember that the visual look is not an indication of when to change the nib. The writing feel and the precision is that indication of when to change your nib. You can use the standard Boox felt soft nibs or the remarkable nibs if you want, or you can also use the gray Wacom nibs or the HP nibs, and these are some other nibs of that standard. I forget where did I get these from since I was testing out a lot, but basically that is the standard felt soft nib that majority of the pens use. Remarkable, old Boox, Samsung S6 Lite, etc. The soft felt nibs provide for a very comfortable writing experience, but they are a little bit less precise than the harder, sharper nibs that are available on some other pens. Pen2 Pro feels quite a bit nicer to write with than the standard Pen Plus, and I personally prefer how it feels to the remarkable standard gray marker. The Pen2 Plus is a little bit softer, finer, and more comfortable to use than either the remarkable or the standard Pen Plus pens. Pressure sensitivity is very nice, and it feels like the calibration is a better fit for the weight and dimensions of the Pen2 Pro than it was or is on the Pen Plus. However, when I compare it to my go-to pen, the Samsung S6 Lite pen, the Pen2 Pro, while close, simply isn't as good in any department as the Samsung pen is. The S6 pen has better pressure sensitivity, like far better control over what amount of pressure and how I'm actually applying it to the device. It's more comfortable to use, to me at least, and allows for a little bit more precision than the Pen2 Pro, mainly because of the ergonomics of it. There is also an issue of squeaky noise coming from the Pen2 Pro when writing. The noise is unpleasant and sometimes a bit cringy, although this will affect people on an individual basis. The noise is coming actually from the pressure sensitivity portion of the driver, meaning as you press harder while writing, the nib will dive deeper into the pen. That's normal. Normally, this is a completely silent affair on most of the pens that I have used. However, on the Pen2 Pro, there is some friction going on that causes that sound. Unfortunately, this is a constant sound more or less, and it indicates that the friction will over time cause a weakening or loosening of the main driver of some sort, and more importantly is an indication of a lower build quality than what I would expect for the price of $80 US. When I did the unboxing and the first impressions video of this pen, I immediately reacted to the noise, but I attributed it to a new nib, because a new nib can also cause a similar type of noise during the first 2-3 days of use until it wears in. Unfortunately, this is not the case here, and this isn't something that went away even after a month of active use. Pen2 Pro is a very comfortable pen to write with over an extended period of time. The basics of the design are actually good, and they do work well while writing. The need for erasing will lessen the comfort level, as you will need to flip the pen over, and as mentioned before, the length makes that action somewhat cumbersome. The biggest issue with the writing comfort is the pressure sensitivity squeaking noise that is constantly present while while writing. It is not just the noise, but the friction also causes mini vibrations to spread through the body of the pen, making you feel as well as hear the squeak every single time it happens. So this significantly worsens what could otherwise be quite a pleasant writing experience. $80 or euros is a very high price tag for a pen, especially when there are so many competitor pens out there. It is not outrageous to price a pen at $80 in itself, but if you do, then that pen and the entire package, it truly has to be a premium product in every respect in order to justify such a high price tag. This is not the case with the Pen2 Pro. The materials used, lack of extra nibs, and the lack of expected quality make it not feel worth the asking price tag. And so we come to the conclusion time for the Pen2 Pro. Let's start with the cons. Well, number one con for me would be the squeaking noise coming from the friction of the pressure sensitivity section of the driver. The pen is too long and makes the use of the eraser, though one of the primary reasons you'd be considering this pen in the first place, cumbersome because of that flipping action. Build quality and the materials used, while they feel nice, they don't feel $80 nice or good. Lack of extra nibs in the package. There's room. There is definitely room to have included it here, at least one or two, but so far it looks like you get none. And generally speaking, $80 for what you get overall is too high. And now for the pros, it has an eraser and that eraser works well. Slightly more precise pressure sensitivity than on the Pen Plus, slightly stronger magnet than on the Pen Plus, nicer writing feel than on the Pen Plus, and generally speaking, it looks pretty. The design is nice and sleek and it looks pretty. Alright, so the Boox Pen2 Pro. The summary of it. Well, for me, the Boox Pen2 Pro is a pen that could have been. It's certainly a pretty looking pen, but definitely way too long to make it comfortable and practical to use for extended periods of time. The materials are close, but not there. The build quality is lacking for the asking price regarding that creaking thing. And the writing experience has extremely strong potential because at times it's silky smooth and really lovely experience, only to be unpleasantly interrupted by the squeaking and the vibrations of the squeaking every time you press a tiny little bit harder when you're writing. This particular Pen2 Pro is special for me personally because this was actually a gift from Boox. So as far as that goes, I do value it on a sentimental level, and it even has my deep guide printed on it. And I think that this is a very nice gesture and I value it for sentimental reasons. However, my sentimentality and personal feelings have absolutely nothing to do with the objectivity at hand when doing a review of an item. And objectively looking, this is not a pen that I can recommend as it is. Maybe the build quality, the squeaking and everything I mentioned is a problem that's just present on this particular one, and maybe your Pen2 Pro won't suffer from those issues. In which case, that's a really good thing because one of the major issues that I have with the pen will have been eliminated, and automatically it would make it a much more viable option. But even if that's the case, and that some pens have that issue and some pens don't have that issue, and that you don't really know whether or not your pen will have that issue, I would still have a problem recommending this pen for the asking price, because a premium product needs to offer premium build quality and premium quality control, and Pen2 Pro doesn't seem to deliver on that front. So, Pen2 Pro, is it something that you should buy? Maybe if you catch it at a very healthy discount, but at the asking price of $80 or 80 euros, no, it's not something that you should buy because there are better alternatives out there. Thank you so much for watching. If you liked the video, please like and subscribe and ding the notification bell down in the description below to get notified when new videos come out on My Deep Guide. Also in the description down below, you will see the link to the Discord My Deep Guide server, which is a community where like-minded people share their opinions, experiences, and things like that, all e-ink related. And also, if you like the work that I do and you want to show support and actually get something really cool that can help you with organizing your own life, you can check out the My Daily Organizer. My Daily Organizer has been carefully designed to offer a comprehensive yet effortless all-year-round experience. If used daily and in a recommended fashion, My Daily Organizer, or MDO for short, can significantly improve your productivity, effectiveness, and efficiency in both professional and personal settings. Full interactivity with over 11,000 hyperlinks spreading throughout the entire document, dedicated Monday and Sunday week start versions of the document, full year calendar with access to any month, quarter, and day of the year. Quarterly organizer also with access to the months and the days of the selected quarter. Monthly organizer with quick links to weeks each day and also some room for organizational and planning notes for that month. Weekly organizer is also available with access to each day of the week, and you also have one extra weekly notes page. The daily organizer side offers a daily planner page, two dedicated note pages, and a diary page for each day of the year, which can help keep track of your short and long-term goals. And you also have access to 99 cataloged and numbered My Notes pages, and the same thing with 99 cataloged My List pages. There are 3 different cover styles to choose from depending on your personal preference, and there's also a dedicated left-handed version of the MDO created especially for the Remarkable platform. MDO has multi-platform compatibility for the Remarkable, Supernote, and Boox platforms. It can and will work on other platforms as well. Main prerequisites are that the platform has a dedicated PDF reader with support for writing annotations into the PDF and, of course, hyperlink functionality. If you would like to learn more about how MDO works, check the videos in the My Daily Organizer playlist in the description below. Or if you already like how MDO sounds and it's something that can help you better organize your professional and/or personal life, then you can buy it at mydeepguide.com/shop. Thank you so much for watching. Stay safe, stay healthy, and see you in the next video. Bye.